Guys, it's Gmeka, and today I'm going to be making my very first reaction video of, reacting to Gunpla buildings and also Gundam animes, talking about Gundams, because I am a really fan of Gundam to the collections and TV shows and movies. And yeah, I really love the concept of the Gundam. Yeah, I'm into like a sort of into mechas, but mostly my majority favorite is Gundam. And I'm reacting to a YouTuber called Rogue Hobbies, which she hasn't heard of Gundam or Gunpla because she's a fan of Warhammer 40k. Oh, is it Warhammer 40k? I don't know. But I do want to get a Warhammer 4K, and I would say that some of the Warhammer products are very expensive. To be honest, it's very expensive to get it. But I do really want to play with to my friends of how does the game work. And yeah, I'm not going to make a long introduction, and hopefully we're gonna get some good thoughts or some good reactions to her of how she's going to make a Gunpla. So here it goes.
I have said many times in many an intro on this channel, I am a huge fan of Warhammer. And you
Okay,
are to act
she said it.
surprised every time I say it because sometimes I don't know how else to intro my videos, so surprise. I love collecting, painting, and yes, even the act of building these little guys. And for the last 10 years, I've been more than willing to pay what often feels like a hefty price tag for just that experience. And even though throughout that time I have consistently heard people complaining that Warhammer is too expensive, and especially that the quality of the product you get isn't actually that good compared to the heavy markup that Games Workshop puts in it,
Yeah,
I've
that's what I've
always
said.
kind of
It's
ignored
very
those
expensive.
comments. Partially because
So
I
much
wasn't
expensive.
exactly spending like £500 every other month to build a new army, so I felt like my spending habits in the hobby were quite reasonable, and also that 50% staff discount was so nice. But mostly because in my mind, Warhammer plastic and even resin is a premium product, and a premium product means a premium price, right? Well, I want you to know that I am currently sat here making this video for you as a kind of emergency broadcast of sorts, because recently my entire perspective on Warhammer miniatures and what makes a good, fun, affordable, and buildable plastic kit has been absolutely scooped up, flipped around, and smacked down on its dumb, stupid face. And it's all because I built my very first Gundam kit. So please, dear fellow Warhammer fan, watch this video and let me show you what I experienced, because not only do I think I may have found one of my new favorite hobbies, but also because I think the act of just building one of these guys has fundamentally changed the way I look at my Warhammer minis now.
Okay, just a thought. I do remember there was a one YouTuber who has a Gunpla kit. Um, but he's also into like tabletop games. I forget which one is it because I I think um I think he built a costume, like the costume one thing. It was from Gundam, like Iron Blooded Orphans. Like yeah, like the MG, and I forget his name. Um uh, just drop his name, guys, on the comments, because I like his videos because he created some amazing tabletop like mechas. And yeah, it was a sort of like a yeah, it was sort of like a Warhammer thingy. He did, and yeah, and I just think that this will do the same to her, because a lot of people are also into Gunpla, so we don't know if what's her reaction to it or what's her first impression about it. So let's see more.
Maybe for the rest of my life. And the reason why is definitely something that you're gonna want to see for yourself.
Okay.
Whoosh. 3D whoosh. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, here goes the intro.
TLDR, I built my very first Gundam kit, had a borderline religious experience, and now I think I might be obsessed with building Gundams. Like, new hyperfixation level obsession. I am down so bad for these robots, man. Disgusting. And
Okay.
I'm super
Oh wait,
excited to like...
that Gundam was from Fighting Gundam. I forgot that. I forgot that anime, but I like it because it was like a father to Burning Gundam. Yeah, that like a God Gundam. Yeah, Gundam. Well, actually, the Burning Gundam is a reference to God Gundam, which is yeah. There are yeah. It's really surprising because in Gundam Build Fighters, yeah, it has a reference from God Gundam, like the Gundam Build Fighters Try. Yeah, that anime. I do like that anime, but the story, eh, it's fine. But I do prefer the Gundam Build Fighters, like the very first Build Fighters. So, yeah.
show you all of the awesome stuff I discovered, but before I start that, I just want to make it so clear, because I'm really worried that people are going to get the wrong impression, that this video is in no way an anti-Games Workshop bad, stop buying Warhammer sort of video. Like, not at all. I obviously love Warhammer, and I fully intend to keep buying and paying.
Well, I hope she's not going to say a not to buy Gundam stuff or Gunpla, because to be honest, Gunpla is really influence to me and to other people. It's a best mecha building uh, hobby. If like it's really I don't know what kind of word I'm gonna say, but it's so good. It feels so good of building one of mecha because it kind of has an impression of that you're building your own Gundam kit. Yeah, so that's how I feel. So let's just play it again.
And enjoying it and making content about it, maybe for the rest of my life, who knows? And if I'm being really honest with you guys, I've been a bit anxious about putting this video out, and I've spent ages trying to like find the right wording for everything I'm gonna say, because I would absolutely hate to be incorrectly labeled as some kind of anti-Games Workshop hater, because I'm really not. But I feel like my love for Warhammer, and most importantly my 10 plus years of experience with building and painting it, actually gives me quite a good perspective on maybe comparing it to other quite similar model kits. But even more importantly, I do feel like it should be absolutely okay, normal, and fair to make comparisons and have these kinds of discussions around products that we buy, as long as we keep it fair, constructive, and most importantly, kind. Healthy discussions and general awareness of different options and where companies do things better or maybe worse is how we improve the hobbies that we love. And it may even push these companies to make products which are better, so it benefits us as the consumer as well. So with all that being said, yes, this video is for you fellow Warhammer fans, and it's about why I think that you should give Gundam a try, because it's new, it's familiar, and it's honestly so
We'll
fun.
see if I can play Warhammer. Okay, cool, but what is a Gundam?
If you're not a massive weeb like me, then you may have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Gunpla or Gundam, so let me briefly explain. A Gunpla kit is essentially a plastic model kit composed of frames which you...
Okay. Oh my gosh. I think she did a mistake right there. Why does she bought a RG? This is actually not a good move if you haven't heard of Gundam or Gunpla, or if you're a beginner. This is a bad move because RG, I would say RG is the tier 4 of the list of patience. Yeah, I have the tier list of I haven't made a tier list of patients, but I kind of rank them like that. And RG is the tier 4 because RG is a smaller version of MG, which is it is the difficult kit that you're going to build. What she did here is that she bought the God Gundam real grade. She should have bought the HG or the EG because it's the easiest to build. Maybe I don't know. Maybe let's see if she can really build the real grade because it has a lot of time to build and is the hazard zone. There are parts that are hazard to snap off it. So let's see how she builds it.
Assemble to build a finished posable model. Usually these models are mecha-looking robots or Gundam mobile suits, which you may recognize from their popular anime franchise. But Gunpla kits are certainly not just limited to these Gundam mobile suits, with human kits, robot waifus, Digimon, other anime franchises, and food products also.
I think she mistakenly described this one. Well, actually, Gundam is a anime series which, of course, after I think it was after the Voltes 5. Yeah, because it was I think it was from Toei Animation. It wasn't from Toei Animation? I don't know. Oh no, it's not. I think I forgot which studio was it. Um, Sunrise. Yeah, Sunrise. And then there was I think the writer or the author of Gundam wanted to build different because, of course, Voltage 5 is really popular mecha anime, and he wants to make something a bit different. And Gundam actually is a story. Oh, I'm gonna tell you the story about the Gundam. The Gundam is a story about politics and mechs. That's a short brief I'm gonna say because, as you can see, the perspective of the Gundam animes and stuff. Yeah, it's really about government, politics, and something like that. The wars over here, wars over there. There's so like peace, like no ending war, and then there's this one guy who's going to stop the war. That's I think that's the concept of the Gundam. And yeah, there was a good and evil about it, and yeah, it's a relatable to our society right now, which of course about governments being corruption, something like that, and federations, and of course terrorists exist because of the government, something like that. Yeah, it's a kind of something like that. I think what she showed here is those things are true, but those things aren't true. Those are not Gunplas. Those are just plastic kits, build kits. Yeah. For example, yeah, this Bucci right here is just a plastic kit, build kit. It's not a Gunpla. Sorry to say this to you, but it's not a Gunpla.
Being very popular kits as well. But unlike Warhammer,
Okay,
there's
the cup noodle. Actually, I was impressed with the cup noodle because I never thought that Bandai would make a food into a building kit, and I do want to get one that I want to try it because it's so much realistic. It has the same like similarity to the original product, and yeah, I just continue the video.
no real gaming aspect attached to these miniatures. They don't have rules for a war game or anything like that. They're kind of about the joy of building, and
Well, yeah, what she said is she's correct. However, there are rules, to be honest, of building a Gunpla. Don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. You sh- if you're building a Gunpla kit with a friend who is expert to Gunpla kit, if you made a mistake, that means the Gunpla who's the expert on Gunpla kits is going to be disappointed and mad because there are actually rules of building a Gunpla kit. For example, do not snap the correct ones. I mean, sorry, do not snap the ones that's supposed to be snapped. Or yeah, there are rules, to be honest, to be followed on building kits. Yes, it's not a game, but it is a rule of building kit. There are rules of building kit. That's for me as a Gunpla builder. Or I don't know if it applies it to you. That but there are rules of Gunpla kit. Of I mean building a Gunpla kit.
getting comfy in an evening and building something which is perfect or customized exactly the way that you want it. There are
Okay,
various
that is true.
levels of customizing and painting
Oh
which
wow,
people in
I
the
kind of
hobby
like
seem to
that.
do. From
I'm gonna
full
follow it on the
repaints just
struggling.
like you would any Warhammer miniature
Oh
to
yeah,
simple
this one.
panel lining, light weathering.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have seen that also that it was so amazing that there are Gunpla builders who make it more the same like painting or the art style from the anime. It was so amazing. I was so shocked. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing." And I just realized it has a lot of time to consume. Like it takes, long time to do the painting and something like doing the art style, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of Gunpla builders are like this.
And of course, decals. Decals which look
Yeah.
strangely familiar anyway. They even have their own
Oh,
version of gold.
okay. Okay, so I haven't realized that they have this same like the same design of the decals. Yeah. And yeah, that's an interesting fact of between Warhammer and a Gunpla kit. Because I thought it's just only have a small sticker on the box on the Warhammer, but however, it has the same kind of design decal design on each like kit. So yeah.
Demon called the Gundam Builders World Cup, where if you win in your region, they will literally fly you to Japan to take part in the main competition. And
Actually, this
that
is
is
true.
something I
This
am
is
going
true.
to be entering this year, so keep your eyes peeled because I
Okay.
will be making a whole video about that. Anyways, Gundam model kits come in various sizes and importantly different grades, which
Yes.
dictate their complexity, and you can see the grades on each box that you buy. With entry grade and high grade being the cheapest and more simple kits with less parts and less complicated builds, and real grade, master grade, and perfect grade boasting absolutely insane scale, posability, details, and features too. Your average high grade kit, at least in the UK, goes for around 15 to 30 pounds, which, despite being around
It's
4
cheaper.
times the size,
It's
is
cheaper.
roughly what you'd be paying for a centerpiece single pose 32mm miniature at Games Workshop. So,
Yep.
of course, when it came time for me to pick
It's
my very
expensive.
first
So much
Gundam kit to
expensive.
build, I instantly skipped over the easy ones and went straight for a real grade kit because, for some reason, I think I can do anything with exceptional ease because I'm stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. What she said is correct. She is so stupid that why she choose the RG than the easiest. Which it like I said, for beginners you should get the SD, EG, or the HG. Yeah. Mostly I haven't gone to SD or EG yet. EG on yeah. EG. There was no time like EG in my childhood days, but it was like SD and the one that doesn't have movements of like I forget what grade was that. I think it was like a simple kit, just uh, small functional. I forgot it, guys. Because I have that one Gundam, like the Age Gundam, with he has a lot of blades on his body. I forgot that one, but I like that kit. I personally like that kit. It's because it's not just it. And not only you can build it, but you can also use it on a sort of like the arcade one. Yeah, because there was an arcade before that you can use the one that you build like the H Gundam, just put it in there and then play the game. Yeah, and yeah, time passes and it's gone. And the EJ, however, is well, it's the easiest, of course. Um, I I just started with the HG. Yeah, because it's not that easy, but I do wanna. since I'm a beginner, of course, that's what should be recommended to beginners. If they are not into like Gunpla or never heard of it and want to build one, we recommend HG. However, she made a bad move there, as like I said earlier. So, ladies first gun here. Okay.
This guy is the God Gundam, renamed G Gundam due to fear of potentially offending Western audiences with the notion of a robot god. And like I said, he is a real grade RG kit, which set me back, I think, around $36.99. But when I tried to find him online later on for this video, I saw him for as cheap as £34, so that's pretty cool. This puts this kit at around the same price if we're comparing it to Games Workshop, which we are, to this guy, or a whole drop pod. But that seems like maybe quite a good deal, right? Like, especially the drop pod, because when you get a drop pod, you get 3 whole frames of chunky, thick Games Workshop plastic, right? So let's see how this similarly priced Pretender ranks up next to the old faithful... Oh.
Yep. Oh my.
Yep, you are seeing that right.
Yep. That's what you're gonna experience with the real grade. It has a lot of runners, and not just it has a lot of runners. It's a smaller version of the master grade, which this is going to be a time consuming. It's gonna take about like 3 to 4 hours of building this kit. Not gonna lie. Yeah, this is very difficult to build. It is very difficult to build. Or is it 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours? Maybe it depends of how skillful you are of building kits.
That is a lot of plastic rammed into this one tiny box. I was quite shocked as well. There is a color instruction booklet, 9 full plastic sprues, 2 smaller sprues with just a few little bits on them, a bag of effect pieces.
Spruce. Maybe she's. Maybe I kind of understand she's a Warhammer. We call them runners. Yeah, because it's kind of like that. Also, if you're getting an RG, you should be really careful with the small details. It's not just that it's, it might get lost or, kind of hard to find it. They're also fragile, very fragile. They tend to break if you put too much pressure on it. And it's very dangerous kit that you're gonna have with the RG.
And a decal sticker sheet for all the details. And
Okay,
whilst the sheer amount of plastic that was stuffed into this box was admittedly pretty cool, it is by no...
On second thought, she should have gone with the master grade instead of the RG. Yeah, because the MG is less hazard or less fragile than the RG. And the MG has a lot of details on it. I don't know why she choose RG, but she should choose MG. Maybe someone is not advising her to buy the RG. Like someone is not recommending her. Yeah, there's so actually maybe I don't know. Maybe she should. I think she bought it on online. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Or she hasn't taken any advice from her friends who are into Gundam kits. Or I don't know. I don't know, guys. But yeah, if she's into details, maybe I should recommend her a MG. Or if she's really a beginner, she should do the HG first, then MG, so that you will know how patient but what kind of patient person you are.
Means the most impressive thing that I want to show you in this video. Not by a long shot, trust me, it gets absolutely wild from here. If you love plastic miniatures like I do, it's gonna get crazy. Crazy. You may have noticed already, but there is something which instantly is differentiating these sprues from your classic Games Workshop ones, and that is the colors. And that's because most kits come with an array of intricately...
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think she did a first mistake there. Oh no. No, 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 no. Well, actually, I was happy she has Nipper, like the Nippers. But the way she snapped is incorrect. As you can see here, yeah, I can kind of zoom that. She's very close to that part, which in the rules, you're not supposed to cut it. Yeah, why? Is because there will be times that if you cut that part and you didn't notice that there was a small detail of the kit, that means you've ruined that part and it cannot make it build, like assemble it together. This is supposed to be avoidable as a, you know, first timer building a kit. I can get that she's first time of building this kit, but what she did there is a mistake. It's wrong. Very wrong move. Yeah, she should be far away, like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters. I don't know. As long as she doesn't get close to that part, that is very wrong. I don't know if I can hold my as a Gunpla builder, but this is very avoidable. I promise you, I'm dead serious. This is avoidable to do when you're building a kit.
Colored plastic components on the sprue just like this, so that when it's
Yeah,
assembled, the
she did it.
model will already look accurate and completed. And you may be sat there at home like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but Games Workshop already do that. Like their Underworld kits and a lot of their beginner stuff is already on colored
Oh, that's
plastic
a lot of
frames, so
parts.
what's the big deal? Why are you making a fuss? Shut up, Louise, shut up. Well, no, you shut up, because what if these guys had sprues with different colors, finishes, and even clarities and hardnesses on a single injection molded frame? That's right, on this single sprue alone, there is blue plastic, metallic green plastic, metallic almost translucent orange plastic, and hard see-through plastic. Just on one sprue. Like, what's going on, Japan? What kind of engineering wizardry are you trying to pull on us pleb Westerners? But if you don't.
Actually, the reason why they did that is because in the MG, it has a lot of runners. And then the reason why they did that in the real grade so that it will be less, like less, less runners than the master grade. I think that's what they did. And yeah, there were separate colors or something like that. Actually, the green one, it was I don't know if there was a part that there was metallic green, but it's only in the real grade. I haven't seen the master grade kits. However, I do know that the master grade kits has a lot of runners than HG, which because it's a big Gundam you're you're gonna build. And yeah, this is the reason why they did it so that you know less space and yeah, I mean more space. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. Just what I'm saying is yeah, it's supposed to be less runners on the real grade than the MG.
Think that's impressive enough? Then I am about to blow your clean little Warhammer cotton
Oh, that's
socks
cute.
clean off, because this kit
Oh,
has a frame with ball jointed and pre-assembled mechanical moving parts on the sprue. This
okay. I'm gonna stop here. Yes, this is true. However, since this is real grade, this is to be cautious because even though it's a small part, yeah, it's a movable. However, this is like I said earlier, it's tend it's tended to break if you put too much pressure on it. Yeah, because I think it's because of the plastic, maybe, I guess, because there's no like thick plastic on it. That's why it's tend to break if you put too much pressure or moving it, like this is supposed to be very careful if you're handling a RG kit.
It's kind of hard to describe, so let me just show you. So here's the sprue looking pretty normal, nothing
Okay,
too special,
she did a
and
mistake again. Oh no. Oh no. 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 I don't know if I can take this, guys. I don't know if I can take this.
then I clip off this little arm hand component, and yep, you are seeing that correctly. It's a pre-assembled ball-jointed component which just comes right off the sprue. And
Okay, here's a fun fact. In the MG, it wasn't like this. The kit was like separated each other to make it more mechanical because it was big. And this one, however, this is an interesting fact about the RG is because they did not just separated it like from the MG, but they make it whole just for the RG. That's an interesting fact. But like I said, it's very fragile to handle for the RG build kit.
And even this isn't the most impressive thing I have seen. I've heard about kits with actual magnets built into the sprues, and look at this piece here. It's a pre-colored printed part which comes right out of the box. This technology here is so ahead of anything we've ever seen before with
Okay,
Warhammer,
she has the
and
HG.
honestly, it just feels so wild.
She should have done with the HG. Yeah, she should have done with the HG than the RG. And yeah, she I don't know what to say. That was from which Mercury, I think. To be honest, the anime is kind of good. It has a good story. However, the characters in the anime, mm, about 50-50. Yeah, which is kind of like that. But I think this Gundam, uh, what I don't like about this kit, like the red hair girl was piloting on, is I don't know. It's nice looking, but it's fine. Like I said, it's 50-50. Same as the anime, 50-50.
Apart from the instructions being extremely clear and concise, which always helps, with coded and labelled areas being mapped out so you never need to spend 20 minutes looking for part 96, which for some reason isn't right next to 97, it may surprise you that building any Gundam kit, including the higher grades, requires absolutely zero glue. And these kits are entirely
Actually, what she said is true. It's not recommended. However, there are some Gunpla builders um, went into glue is because of the space. I think, yeah, because if you like assemble them together, you can see that there's a space on each like parts of the Gunpla kits, which it is terrifying to look at it as a Gunpla builder, and it's not a good quality. So what these Gunpla builders do is, I think they bought I forgot, the cement, yeah, the cement one to like disappear the space and then make it and sand grinding it so that it has no space, just just a kind of amazing detail of the kit. That's what most Gunpla builders do. But what she said is true. There's no glue needed. However, if you're into like joining competition and you want to present this kit to win like prize, you should buy a cement, panel lining, and yeah, a lot of stuff you're gonna buy just to make your kit beautiful and very presenting.
literally what us Warhammer fans would call push fit. Now, I don't know about you guys, maybe this is just me, but when it comes to Warhammer and I see the word push fit, it usually fills me with a bit of dread because it usually means what I think it shouldn't mean, and that is a bit of a struggle. Even when I used to work at Games Workshop, I and my colleagues as well would openly recommend that people file down the prongs on their push fit kits to make them go together a little bit easier, which I feel is just not the point. And even then, the gaps left behind felt quite obvious, and they required a bit more love and attention to get them looking anywhere close to just right. So when I found myself here building my first Gundam kit, and I was effortlessly pushing together these tiny little pieces of plastic, I was honestly stunned. The plastic pieces on this kit are so well designed that even the tiniest elements have a perfectly engineered tiny counterpart, which they slot right into seamlessly. There was no struggle.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm gonna continue playing it.
No having to apply a weird amount of pressure to put parts together, which bends other more fragile bits of the miniature, and no messy glue of any sort.
Yeah, true. What she said is true. However, this is supposed to be also careful when you're pushing fit on it, because I had this one time I built an HG and I kind of like pushing the kit a little too far and it doesn't shut on like the hole. The pin, like the pin for the hole on the kit, just bends on the side, which is very, this is supposed to be like cautious when you're push fit on the kit. And yeah, you have, and it pushes too much pressure when you're kind of like assimilate together. Yeah, I had that kind of experience, but yeah, I'm used to it. Like hurry, like painful hands just pushing it together with the kits. And yeah, and also for Gunpla builders, do not wash your hands after you're building the kit, because while your hands are getting like very painful of pushing the feet, your hands are gonna get numb and sore, or yeah, something, or paralyzed, I guess, or something. But yeah, do not wash your hands after you're building the kit.
Everything just kind of clicked into place in a really satisfying way. But in order to get those super satisfying build mechanics to work, you kind of need to spend a lot of time focusing on getting your plastic parts looking perfect.
Yes, this is true, because it takes a lot of time. And aside from snapping all the kits, the assembling part is consumes a lot of time also. It's like you're building like 2 hours, 1 hour for snapping the parts and 1 hour of assembling it, or maybe like 30 minutes, maybe. Yeah, maybe 30 minutes. Depends on the kit or how skillful you are. That's what matters as a Gunpla builder.
As you're assembling to make the end product as clean and as seamless as possible. And for me, I think that's where a lot of the joy in building this kit came from. I got to like slow down, be really methodical and a bit of a perfectionist to get every single bit looking perfect, so my end result was perfect too. And I think that it's this obsession with perfection which also makes the Gunpla guys miles ahead of us Warhammer people with their hobby tools as well. When I was putting together my basic essential Gunpla building kit, I wanted to A, do it from scratch so that I could honestly report to you guys how expensive this hobby is if you're coming into it brand new. But I also went with, as much as I could, the cheaper...
I also noticed that she snapped like the... I forget... God. I'm sorry guys, I forgot what's the term of like the yellow thing. Like there was a nips that you kind of cut it. Yeah, I think she did it correctly. And yeah, what she did here is she put some decals, which is, this is also takes a lot of time of putting it together. Yeah, because this is small and more difficult than MG.
options when it came to all my tools because I'm new to this hobby and I didn't want to spend all my money on like top tier items before actually knowing what I would use regularly. I picked up a cute pink cutting mat, a
Oh,
budget
that's
friendly
cute.
craft knife, some weathering pencils and panel lining pens, some basic sandpaper sticks and some tweezers too, and honestly this whole kit didn't set me back a huge amount. But one thing
Okay,
I felt
that's
like I
nice.
had to splash out on to really review the full Gunpla experience were the clippers, and not just any clippers, because I bought the clippers, the coveted blue God Hand plastic model kit clippers, which they were very expensive. Oh my god. For those
Actually, she did a mix. And I'm not saying she did a mistake there. She did buy that clippers. However, she should have buy the cheaper ones. Which, for me, I only buy clippers or nippers on hardware, like the small nippers ones, because they were a lot cheaper and yeah, much more like very useful. It's just like it's I don't know if it has the same quality as the most expensive clippers or nippers, but she should have gone with the cheaper ones than buying the expensive one. And I think I get it because she said earlier that she's into expensive stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. I think that's what she did right there.
already into Gunpla, then you will know that these God Hand clippers are like the gold standard, most perfect and wonderful clippers in the world. And if you are not
Um, I don't know if it's true, but it's not really recommended for Gunpla builders. Like if you're a first time Gunpla builders, a Gunpla builder, um, it's not really recommended to buy expensive ones. Cause yeah, cause I don't know if these clippers are very strong or tended to break like for long period of time. But yeah, yeah, like I said, it's recommended for first time. Sorry about that. First time Gunpla builder to buy the cheaper ones than the expensive one.
in the know, then let me tell you that yes, annoyingly, these clippers are really good, but so expensive. These clippers cost me an absolute whopping £55,
Oh my
making them
gosh,
more
it is really
expensive than
expensive.
any of the Gundam kits I had bought so far. But I got them because they were like the one thing that every Gunpla person was like, you're gonna need these clippers, they're the best clippers ever, and I want to be able to report back to you to say if they're worth it or not so you can make informed purchasing decisions.
I think that person who's saying that you need to buy these clippers, he's just marketing you. I think it's the salesman. I think it's the salesman saying that to you to, you know, promote the product, of course. That's what they did. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just laugh about it because that's what happens when you're in a store and there's a salesperson who's like, "Oh, you need to buy this one because this is a great quality and good for your, good for your skin, good for your health, or good for your, good for your style." And when you see the price, it's so expensive. Yeah, I've encountered that a lot of times on when I go to the store, and I was like, "Is this really good for my skin? Because this is expensive." I don't know. Anyways, I'll just continue play the video.
Yourself. So why are these God Hand clippers so fancy and expensive? Well, here's the difference. Regular clippers usually have two blades that pinch the plastic on each side to remove the parts from the sprue, often leaving a small pinchy shaped nub on your miniature that you might have to clean up, thus doubling the time it actually takes to do what you wanted to do in the first place. But these God Hand clippers, which Gunpla people call nippers, and I kinda hate that, I don't know, the word just makes me gag a little bit, they have a single blade which presses against the other blade, which is actually a flat surface, which means a more precise, closer cut with less pressure on the plastic, making an overall cleaner finish on your miniature. But are these bad boys?
Um, they also had the same. Yeah, I think they also have the same style. I don't know, but for me, I just buy the hardware ones because you know, trying to be not an expensive person. But yeah, I can see the way how the God Hunt uh, clippers works. That's what she said, or I would say nippers. Sorry if I said that like earlier a lot of times, but I usually call it nippers. Well, I understand it's expensive, but the way it cut, it's just like how nippers works, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Gunpla builder, and just went to cheap stuff because I don't want to cost much money, and yeah.
Boys really worth £50 plus? Well, I'm quite a thrifty person, so spending that much money on just clippers was admittedly a little bit tough. But yes, they are extremely good clippers. And with Games
Okay.
Workshop clippers already feeling quite expensive at £31, I don't know. These clippers do feel like a premium product which actually pays off if assembling beautiful and clean miniatures is something that you love doing.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the model actually coming together, and beyond it just being a delight to assemble between the easy push fit and my lovely new clippers, the model itself is just so extremely cool and most notably incredibly well engineered, which I think is something I was told would blow my mind the most coming into this hobby as a Warhammer fan, and yeah, the people who said that were 100% correct. Like the piston armor at the back of the leg here, which moves in and out in such a satisfying way, and the shoulder pads which move around so you can kind of peek on the mechanical parts on the inside. The chest piece moves up in two pieces, revealing this cool, clear power core sort of thing, and the
Yeah, it
backpack
has
is
the
actually
same
its
as
own
the master
fighter
grade.
plane, which you can pose and display separately, and it has a tiny cockpit and even a little hinged window and a little seat on the
Yeah.
inside, and you can dock the whole thing into the back of the Gundam, and I was just having too much fun here at this point. I had to calm down a little bit. After around 6 hours, yes, 6 hours of just building one kit, I was finally finished making my first ever proper Gundam model. And now it was time to do the next best part, which was playing with it. I mean, posing it, which was so much fun, and the pictures that I took came out really awesome, and I'm basically now in love with a tiny little robot model, and I guess that's fine.
Okay. What she did there is kind of interesting because she take a photo of it. However, when you're doing a posable of this, like doing pose of this kit, is like I said, it's very fragile because when you move the parts of the kit, there will be times that most of the parts would will be like fell off, like kind of removed from the kit. And when you lost it, it's a kind of a disappointment. And yeah, there'll be a time that it'll be a depression, depression time to lost that part. And yeah, they should be really careful with that kit because it's very fragile and very cautious. Like, do it cautiously of handling that kit because, man. Oh yeah, and I have this one friend of mine who has an RG, and he told me that he was building this kit, and yeah, he told me that it's very time consuming, and yeah, when you move the part, like the parts of it, it loses from that part, and yeah, it's really hard to find because it's very small, which is should be really careful. And yeah, my friend got had a time of depression because he lost that part, and maybe he needs to buy a new one, like a spare part of it. And yeah, it's really fragile to have that RG kit. Let's do it again. Okay.
After I had finished my first Gundam, I kind of decided that I was a little bit too scared to fully go in and try panel lining this miniature because I'd spent ages on it and I didn't want to ruin it with what would be my first attempt at trying a brand new hobby skill. So obviously, I decided to pick up another one to practice on. The other kit that I decided to pick up to practice on was this time a high grade Gundam, which, if you remember, is like the step below.
Okay, she did a wrong move again. She should have gone with the HG than the RG. She bought already an HG, and then she started building the RG. This is a mistake. Yeah. I hope she's gonna learn. She's gonna learn from her mistakes. Like, if you don't master building kits, you should start with HG first, because that's mostly recommended for first time Gunpla builders. That's what I've said. And yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the name, Gundam Aerial. Yeah. Yeah. The kit is good looking, but it was fine.
A real grade, so not as complex as a real grade, but it only cost me £16. At the time
This
of
is much
filming this, I
cheaper
think it's for some
than the
reason a
regular.
little bit more expensive where I bought it from, but look, thankfully I have evidence that when
Oh,
I
she
bought
bought
it, it was
the
only £16. So yeah,
That's
trust me.
good.
Anyways, back at Games Workshop, £16 would buy me a pack of cards, one wolf, or 10 shoulder pads! Yay! I fully expected this kit to be a lot less fancy than my more expensive real grade kit, but
Yes,
when I opened
which
it,
you're
there was
supposed to do
still
it with
a
first.
bunch of sprues, more than I expected for that price tag. And when it was complete, it was still insanely detailed and fully articulated. I decided to finally crack into some of my panel liners, which is another technology which hasn't quite hit us Warhammer fans
Sorry
yet.
for the
And
notification.
yet again, I'm here to report that they were really, really cool. They're designed with a bunch of science that I don't really understand to essentially pour into recesses of the model in order to shade them specifically in those areas. And they really do the job. It's actually like magic a little bit, and it's so fun. All you have to do after you have lined all your panels is do a little bit of cleaning up, and then your model looks a lot more well defined. And if you want to pick them up for yourself and try them out on your own miniatures, and I really recommend that you do, then I will pop a link in my description box to the two that I used. I think I used like the Gundam Pour Marker pens and also the Tamiya panel lining kind of like pot. But yeah, I recommend trying them out because it's just so fun and satisfying to watch
wait.
and do.
Okay, what she did there is correct. However, um, okay. After you're panel lining it, you should have coated with matte. Yeah, it's because this is the reason why, to make it more safe for your panel lining, because this panel, I don't know, I think, yeah, I've seen a lot of Gunpla builders who use matte coat after they've finished panel lining. I think the reason why is to make your panel line, after you use panel lining, not to get rid, it doesn't get rid easily on the panel, on the way you do the lining. Sorry for my words. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course she did a codimans, that is correct. She did it correctly. However, I can't still get over that she started with the RG, then the HG. Yeah, which is kind of it. Well, not kind of disappointing, but yeah, she should have learned that mistake.
So now that I have built 2 complete Gundam models at 2 different grades, let's have a little chat about my final thoughts on this brand new hobby. Despite the fact that on paper, Gundam and Warhammer do have a lot of similarities and maybe appear quite similar, I think now that I've experienced both, they do feel like very different hobbies because I think I'm getting a different type of enjoyment out of doing each of them, if that makes sense. Warhammer, to me, feels a lot more creative as a hobby because there is a huge range of miniatures to pick from, and that's one thing that Warhammer does have, which I do think puts it leaps and bounds ahead of Gunpla. And that in conjunction with a big focus of the Warhammer hobby being they come in grey plastic because you're supposed to paint them however you like, feels quite liberating and like you have a lot of choice and freedom both when selecting miniature and then putting your own creative spin on the color scheme and how the end result looks. With Gunpla, if you don't like big fighting humanoid robots, then you're gonna probably feel somewhat limited creatively. And like I said before, there are other kits that you can do, like more human kits and sushi, but still robots are probably gonna be your bread and butter in this hobby, and if you don't like mechs and mech suits, then you may find yourself getting disinterested in the kits pretty quickly. Of course, when you have finished building your Gundam miniature, there is nothing stopping you from priming it and painting it and putting your own creative spin on it like you would a Warhammer miniature. It just seems like less people are doing that in the Gunpla hobby as they are in the Warhammer hobby. So if fully painting miniatures to completion is your thing, you may find that there's slightly less people to bounce your ideas off in this hobby compared to Warhammer. Additionally, to make a true comparison, it has to be said at this point, and maybe you've been screaming this at your screen the entire time, but Gunpla miniatures are not wargaming miniatures. They are fundamentally different things, and maybe quite fairly, you could say that I may as well be comparing Warhammer Space Marines to Lego minifigures. Like, they're completely different things for different purposes. Warhammer minis are usually designed to be stout and sturdy and to survive impact from things like rogue dice crashing into them or even falling off the side of a tabletop. And I don't think I would feel comfortable with my highly intricate Gundam model that I spent hours assembling being put through the same torture. At least
Okay, the way she showed the RG that she built, I kind of like, yeah. uh yeah, the way I like how she assembled it, but the way she like snap it, yeah, there was a disappointing part that she mistakenly snapped the part that she wasn't supposed to snap it. Yeah. Um yeah, by the way, she done it. Yeah, she built it perfectly. However, she should have, yeah, she should have take some advices from any Gunpla builders out there of how to build this kit.
not without a lot of super glue being used in the process of building it. However, with all that being said, let's talk about some of the things that these kits are doing right, which kinda make them dunk on Games Workshop plastic kits. A little bit. If we're looking at just the amount of plastic that you get in a box in comparison to the price you pay for a box, and assuming that the plastic and its detailing and manufacturing is at least the same quality as Games Workshop, then these Gundam kits are a real eye-opener for any Warhammer fan. Even looking at the cheaper £16 high-grade kit,
well, wait, I'm gonna pause here. It's not just Gunpla that people are into. I just noticed that a lot of people are into, yeah, miniatures, like the tank ones. Yeah, I've seen the tank one, the jeepney ones, like from the Gundam series. Um, yeah, the war tank, the soldiers, and something like that. They were plastics, but they also have similarities to Warhammer because it needs to be painted. And yeah, there are a lot of stuff of kits that you want to build. For example, you want to build a war tank or a warship, and then you're just gonna build it. and then paint it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of kits on the toy stores and hobby stores of selling like the miniatures, or like, same, I think same scales, or I forget what scale was it. Was it 180, or I forgot which scale was it. But yeah, they have this also same similarities with the Warhammer 4K. So that's my what I've had in thought of, other kits other than Gunpla kits, that mostly, was it Tamiya, or it was other brand. I don't know if it was. There are also Bandai that has that kit, but also there are also other brands. So yeah, that's what my that's what I'm going to say.
Box included 5 full, incredibly detailed sprues and almost 3 additional smaller sprues, and that's not even mentioning the fact that the sprues are coloured and the quality of the plastic and the fineness of the sculpted details is the same, if not better, than Games Workshop plastic. A few equivalently priced miniatures that I found on the Warhammer web store are this Cyberwolf and this kit, which includes 3 little goblins, which I actually like quite a lot, and both of these are actually a little bit cheaper than my Gundam kit. But these are both pretty dated as models, which is fine, and I personally am a woman who loves an old miniature, but I
They're
unfortunately
cool,
don't
actually.
think I'm in
I
the
like how
majority
they
there.
look.
And these kits I'm using as a price comparison aren't even plastic kits. In fact, I believe, and I may be wrong, that they're everyone's least favourite Warhammer material, fine
Okay,
cast, which is
it's
renowned
resin
for
cast.
not
That's why
being the
it's
best
kind of
quality. And
firm
again, I don't know
and
why, but
expensive.
I feel so guilty saying this and making these comparisons because I love Warhammer so much, but at the same time I do want to try and be as honest as I can on my channel, and it's really hard to ignore that for £16 I put together something which felt as detailed and as high quality as a Warhammer miniature, but for that size and quality I feel like if it had the Warhammer logo on the front of the box I would probably end up paying double or even a lot more for the same miniature. But with all these comparisons out the way, I want to stop battling the two against each other from this point, because for a start they are very different hobbies, and more importantly,
True.
I know what
It's true.
Warhammer is and what it isn't, and despite that, I still know that I love it very much. I'm just starting to learn what Gunpla is, and whilst I've just started to get into it, I think that I do really like it too, and I'm excited to learn more and continue to enjoy this hobby for what it is as well. Which for me, I think is just another way that I can turn off my overworked, anxious brain for just a little bit and focus on something
Okay,
deeply
she did it
therapeutic.
right there. I think you need to take a break for like 15 minutes or 30 minutes when you're building like the RG, the MG, or the perfect grade. It's very important for gumball builders to do this, because if you are taking the risk of completing this kit, there'll be a tendency that you'll get sick, or you'll be having like, yeah, illness of not getting rest, and yeah, not drinking water. So you need to take a break if you're a first timer of building a kit. You need to take a break. That is the rule number one of being a Gunpla builder. And yeah, I'm gonna finish this video of her, not this one. Not I'm not. I'm just gonna finish her video.
Which also rewards me at the end of my hard work with something that looks and feels phenomenally cool and that I can be proud of myself for putting together. But I guess all I really wanted to say is that I discovered Gundam and I thought it was really cool, and I think that you should try it out yourself as well, because 2 incredible hobbies is always better than 1. And I am afraid that is all we have time for today. As usual, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you
I
for
hope I
being
enjoy
rogues.
it.
I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Okay.
Bye bye!
Okay. Okay. So the way she presented the video is actually quite impressive, because I don't know, because there are a lot of people that are into fighting games. Sorry, what I mean. um, that are into like, yeah, mostly same as the games, like video games. They're biased on video games. Has a toxic community of fan basing this game. This game, they said that this game is better. This game is no, is like, no, this game is better because it has a lot more good mechanics, and then they fighting each other. I think what she did here is actually good because mostly at the time, when you're choosing a hobby of which hobby you like and the budget that you have, is that you know, we should not like fighting or kind of judging or spinning facts that, oh, Warhammer is so expensive because, oh, yeah, you know, like Warhammer is a bad kind of like having it because you need to paint it and it's very expensive and it's made of resin and something like that. And then the other person would say that, oh, no, no, Gunpla is, you know, it's cheap and the plastic is not that great because, you know, something like that. It's, you know, there are a lot of arguments about it. I think what she did here is a great presentation of not hating both hobbies but to enjoy them. However, there are some mistakes that she did there. Like I said earlier, of using the clippers or the nippers of snapping from the runners. Yeah, she should avoid of too close to the kit. And second, she should have started with the HG because the HG is where the beginners should start with. If you're not into, if you it's your first time, or you never heard of, like, you're not being influenced by other people of what the Gunpla is. Yeah, HG is a recommended one if you like details, of course, and easy one. Uh, yeah. Also, she should have buy an MG one because that's the greatest kit that she's gonna have than the RG. So yeah. And third, what I'm gonna say about the third one? I think she should have take some advices from experts of building a kit, like Gumpo builders that are very professional, to, you know, to have more information of how to build this kit, of which kit is the best, or yeah, she should have taken some advices from any Gunpla builders. Yeah. So that's it. Sorry I made a long video, but that's my reaction for today. And I hope you guys enjoy my reaction. Or if you're not enjoying this video, you can, you know, put down in the comments of what are your thoughts about this video. And yeah, if you have something to say that what I'm saying is not true, or some things that I'm, you know, just put your thoughts onto this video in the comments, and leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'm gonna do more video reactions soon because of the time. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.